Yes, people, what is happening, and welcome back to the Pole Position Pod on AN Sports. Apologies that I did not mention on the last stream that I was going live yet again for the F1 show, but no, we're back alive. We're back live, not live, back live. Yes, we are live. We got everyone who's tuning in. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. 9 subs to 500, guys. Literally 9 subs to 500, and 15 likes on the video. People, 15 likes on the video. And King, Augustia, the fresh faces on the channel, but legends as always are back in the building. How are we doing, guys? All good?
Yeah, appreciate the compliment, Akavin. And I think if anyone's the most alive, it's Lando Norris and Lando Norris fans, because at the
Yep.
moment, what he is doing is he's more than alive. He is ascendant. He's having his awakening, his racing awakening, his spiritual awakening, and this guy Lando Norris at the moment is in the craziest form of his whole career. He's looking the most confident he's ever been. The rhetoric, the results, it's all lining up and matching himself up to be a worthy world champion.
Yeah.
So kudos to Lando Norris, but Ekevin, as you mentioned backstage, Kimi Antonelli, P2. Fair play, man. Fair play. I mean, he's had a rough patch of results during the middle of the season, the crux of the season. But recently, he's recovered it. And when Mercedes look like they have a little bit of pace and Russell is a little bit off the mark, for whatever the reason is, whether it's balance, setup, this, that, Kimi Antonelli is there to pounce. So kudos to Kimi, kudos to Lando. Oscar still seems a bit off the mark. And Max Verstappen and Red Bull, very disappointing. Not Max personally. He maximized as much as he really could. Just the state of that car, the fact that Yuki was out in Q1 and Max Verstappen was unhappy throughout the weekend and verbally unhappy, as Lauren Meckie said. So, yeah, I mean, overall, if we're talking about heading into this weekend, Lando is definitely the front runner. But conditions can create madness. And if it rains, then Max Verstappen will storm.
King, what's happening, bro? Everything okay on your side? And big up to you for joining as well. Guys, both of King's channels are in the description. Sorry, not description. The title of the video. So go subscribe to both of his channels if you haven't done so already, people. Big up to you, bro. And hope you're well.
Yeah, I'm good. I ain't really got much to say. I ain't got really much to say in regards to Formula One. I don't know. I'm just not fussed about it. Obviously, I'm a Ferrari fan, so I have nothing really to
Of course.
to be excited about. But what can I say? Well done to Kimi and Lando Norris. I think it's good to see them two do their thing. But yeah, man. Oh, big up to Isaac Harger for top 10 as always. You know, doing his thing. But yeah, no, Lando Norris is proving me wrong, which is what I wanted to see. I want him to actually be the driver he probably thinks he is. Doesn't mean it's over. No, not really, because qualifying doesn't really mean anything. It's all about the sprint race and the actual race itself. So it's still a long weekend to go. He started off well, but you never know what can happen in Brazil. And obviously, there's rumors about what's going to happen with qualifying maybe not happening due to the weather. So
it's going to be a cyclone in Sao Paulo this week. Apparently, they were saying that it was really bad rain. So I have three. Actually, before we get to that, I actually have three solutions for this. They were saying that they were going to do the overall championship grid instead of actually doing the qualifying grid, because if qualifying does get suspended and it does get cancelled tomorrow, they said that they're going to use the championship grid instead. What my solution would be is either use the sprint race qualifying grid, or use the sprint race grid itself. So sprint race tonight, that should decide the race for tomorrow, in my opinion, the order of it, at least in my opinion. Because what's the point of doing qualifying then if you're not gonna if there's gonna be a cyclone around the time? Might as well just use actual sprint race results, because you're already getting points for it as well. Don't forget, you're racing for points, so might as well use that as motivation for the weekend rather than having to do extra qualifying. You know what I'm trying to say? I think that's just my opinion, though. At least I don't know what you guys have to say about that. I don't know if you guys want to add anything to that as well. Augusta, you want to?
Yeah, I wholeheartedly, completely agree with you. To me, it makes no sense. Again, why if there's a weekend where a race can't happen, or a qualifying session can't happen, and there's a sprint weekend as well, make the sprint weekends more valuable. A lot of teams ditch the sprint weekend. A lot of them take it unseriously. They take it more as an experimental opportunity rather than an opportunity to get points on the board. And one of the ways to do that, like at Brazil, Ekevin, the point that you masterfully crafted is make the sprint weekend quali. If the actual quali can't happen, make that the official quali too. And then teams will take that infinitely more seriously. Like it could increase urgency as well, right? Subconsciously, whereby Ferrari yesterday, they made a couple mistakes, right? Leclerc wasn't on it as much as he was. He had a couple spins, or at least a spin. And then Lewis Hamilton as well, he didn't get a final run in Q2. So I think if you are the FIA, one way to make it more appealing is the sprint qualifying represents the actual qualifying grid if qualifying cannot take place. I agree.
Can you add into that?
I swear when sprint race weekends wasn't officially first became a thing, the qualifying was done by the completion of the actual sprint race. So if you won the sprint race, you would get pole, and then if you were second, you get second. Wasn't that when it initially came in? Wasn't that the
yeah?
Was it like?
I believe you're correct, and I forgot and I forgot about that, but that also makes sense.
Because that's so basically the sprint race was the qualifying basically. So there wasn't an extra set of qualifying. They actually
had that. Was it like 2 seasons ago they used that?
Yeah.
Because I remember when Lewis Hamilton through Brazil had the sprint race, and then because of his position in the sprint race, he was able to
exactly.
Yeah, so they should just do that. Just revert back to the way it was before.
Wholeheartedly agree with you there.
That would make more sense, because then at least if the qualifying can't happen, at least you have a race rundown where you can just say, okay, the race, whoever won the sprint race, they get pole. Whoever finished second get. So at least they get their sprint race actually being something.
And Augusta, I think remember 2022 or 2023, I think it was one of the races, or 2022 actually, it was 2022. There was a race that year where instead of doing the actual race, they just did like a sprint lap, just to because it was really bad rain, so they had to cancel.
It was Spa 2021,
and then they had to cancel, and then they had to redo the whole race, but in sprint format.
Yeah, I think it was Spa when George Russell was on the podium.
Yeah,
because he had a flying qualifying lap, and then exactly, and then legend. Very good to see another legend in the chat. Lou Man and Tifosi, big up. But yeah, it was Spa 2021 when George Russell put a flying lap in, and the qualifying conditions were treacherous. Lando Norris was actually like the best driver in qualifying. He was looking like he would be on pole in that McLaren against the Mad Max and Lewis Hamilton, towards the pomp of their careers. But the conditions were so screwed. He crashed out. So many people were crashing out. And then the next day, because the conditions continued, the qualifying order that was manic, Max, George, and Lewis, it stayed place, and it was just the results of the race. So, King, to your point here, I actually I agree with you. I think that's a great way of doing it, because then it maintains the incentive for not just the sprint quali, but the sprint race. Because like I said, a lot of teams experiment during qualifying, but they experiment even more during the race. Because if you had a pretty iffy qualifying in the race, then if you're like Carlos Sainz, for example, why go on a normal strategy that can propel you to the top? Instead, experiment with different setups and different strategies for tomorrow. But if you have that added layer of, hey, if it rains too much, your qualifying grid is determined based on the sprint race itself. You have to be on it. You have to take it seriously and competitively. You cannot discard it irresponsibly. So good shout, King. I agree with you. And there he is.
Sorry about that. I was just having my cup of tea.
No worries.
Anyways, speaking of cup of tea, we got Formula One. That's it. That's gonna be hopefully a good race this weekend. Hopefully it'll be a entertaining weekend. But I think you mentioned about the weather and how it should be. If Formula One really thought that they could maybe push the time back a little bit for qualifying as well, because qualifying is happening like 5 hours, 6 hours later, I think. Oh, sorry, 6 hours later, excuse me, around, I think. and then like you said, it's just gonna take. It's just like, how do you say it? It's gonna go into the cyclone sort of period. I'm trying to say the qualifying is gonna happen during the cyclone period of the race. Hopefully, it doesn't happen. Hopefully, all is just rumors and all just doesn't happen. But in saying that, I don't think they should do it around that time. If they really think there's gonna be a bad weather, why didn't they push the sprint race back? Why didn't they push it a little bit back a bit more, and add qualifying 2 hours later? If they really think that the weather's gonna be really bad. But listen, don't worry about that as of now. Let's get into the sprint race. Lewis Hamilton out in Q2. Carlos Sainz out in last place on Q1, and Q3, Lando Norris gets pole once again. I think he's hitting form at the right time. I think he's hitting form when it matters most, and when he wants to deliver for McLaren, he's doing it on a consistent basis. This is like 3 weeks in a row now that he's claimed pole. Big up to him. He's doing what he needs to do, and when he wants to win the championship, this is where he needs to be. This is the exact position he needs to be. This is what he needs to set. This is the target he needs to set now. Going to every single qualifying with the aim to get pole, because if you don't get pole, you're behind Max Verstappen, or you're behind someone else that's just faster than you on the weekend. Which I think Lando Norris has been the fastest driver in the last 2-3 races. It's just hard to disagree with that. It's hard to look elsewhere. Obviously, Max Verstappen did make errors, and he did finish P5, P6 in this qualifying. But I gotta say, I know you do have to go in just a bit, but just give me your thoughts on the whole qualifying, and then I can go after this.
Yeah, as I said at the beginning of the show, I'll just reiterate some of that. I think qualifying was interesting, but you're right. Lando Norris is on the mark. He is finding his right rhythm, not just ability-wise, but mentally. And every time the pressure gets higher, he seems to flourish even more. Which, King, if we said that 3 weeks ago, you'd probably say go to the mental hospital, because that's a crazy thing to say. When the pressure is higher, Lando Norris is performing better. That's a nuts thing to say. But in the last 3 weeks, he's had his renaissance. He looks a lot more revitalized. He looks greater. He looks better. He looks confident. He looks a lot more confident. You can hear his rhetoric in interviews as well. He's accepting accountability. He's reciprocating responsibility. His sole priority is looking ahead, not at Max, not at Oscar. He's doing what we said at AN Sports. So I think it's
hopefully
sure what Lando's doing. Yeah, maybe he does. Probably does. Why wouldn't he? Like, why wouldn't you watch us? But yeah, exactly. But no, Lando Norris has been very impressive. It has been empowering to see. And you're right. He's not just dominating pole. He's not just dominating the race. He also finished first in practice when he gets his goes as well. So it's domination. It is Lando Dominion. But as King said, it's not over yet. A lot can still happen. But I think 100%. What these 2 weeks have done for Lando Norris is show that he can be a world champion. Show that it is buried within him. He can unleash it. And that would be very encouraging for his stay at McLaren. So Lando is in the rhythm of his life. He is the heavy favorite for this championship, especially with the lead he has on Max. And then when it comes to Max, I don't know or think he made any mistake. I just think that Red Bull car, that setup, did not work out for him at all. Red Bull just far off the mark. Ferrari, same thing. They are well off the mark completely. I'm not sure what is going on there. I know all eggs in the basket for next year, but still, it's Lewis Hamilton's home race effectively, and for him not to be in Q3, well, King, you said it's not a surprise. I agree with you, but to me, it still is somewhat of a surprise because it's Brazil, and he's usually at Brazil. So yeah, apart from that, it is looking like an interesting sprint session. I think that Lando should consolidate, but conditions change everything, and if the conditions are treacherous, if they are traumatic, if they are torturous, then cometh the hour, cometh the moment, cometh the man. Max Verstappen will win. But it will be Max or Lando, and Oscar, something has to happen in the next few hours. A setup tweak to align more with his style, probably, and also mentally. He needs to have a complete reshift mentally to even just contain himself in the conversation. Otherwise, he's quickly going to fall behind, and it's going to be Lando and Max. But Lando, keep doing what you're doing because that championship is coming your way.
King. Sorry, I didn't realize it was a mute there. Sorry about that. King.
Oh, what about any thoughts I have?
Yeah.
As the premium Lando hater, I can't hate on what he's doing in the last couple of weeks. As I said, he's been on form. He's been on real good form. And I think he'll continue. Huh?
Lando Norris, are you watching?
I don't hate him. I just said he didn't have it up here. But maybe he's proving me wrong. I want him to prove me wrong. I want him. I want Charles. I want George to prove me wrong, and he's proving me wrong. So, is what it is. Does he have the balls to finish the job, to go all the way? We'll see. Especially with the fact that especially with Max being so close now. The only difference is 36 points. So he is breathing down his neck, and all it takes is one mistake in the sprint, maybe a adverse weather. He's done it before, and you never know. So he has to finish the job. The thing about it is you've done the first part. You've done your 1/3 of the way through of what. No, actually, no, 1/4 of the way through of what this weekend needs. What you need to do this weekend is pole and sprint quali, done. Win the sprint, done. Then number one in the official quali and get that pole, regardless of whether. If it's a weather thing and you get it regardless because you're number one in or whatever they decide to do, it is what it is. And then you have to win the race. You have to dominate Brazil. Because if you dominate Brazil and get all the points in the bag, not only do you put a gap between you and Oscar, you put a gap between you and Max, and that pretty much puts you put one hand on that drivers' championship with this weekend. Only 3 weekends left after this, and in those 3 races aren't really races that are going to be a lot of overtaking. I think this is the only one where overtaking is a possibility. Brazil is a very crazy race, so you need to kind of have 100 weekend, and if he does that, then I will say it. If he wins Brazil, if he wins qualifying, wins sprint, wins the race, I would say that Lando Norris will become the drivers' champion, and I will say that I was wrong. But if he doesn't, well then, and things happen, and anybody but Norris becomes to fruition. Well, do you think I was unbearable before? I'm just getting started. So you better win, Lando. You better win.
Augustia, this at the same time we want Max to be back in it just to make it interesting. But this man right here, he's gonna have variables.
You know what You know what he sounds like? He sounds like a movie villain.
Oh yeah.
No, he sounds like a movie villain at the end of a film when he knows he's lost, but he's still clinging on to hope. That's exactly what he sounds like. That's what he sounds like. So.
Max, Super Max, let's go.
I would love it if Super Max won, but
I hate him too.
At the moment, I think it's not Super Max, it's Supreme Lando. That's what he's doing, and that's one of the reasons is the car, and that Red Bull car is not being developed the way it is supposed to be. And I know Lauren Mackey's also said there wouldn't be more upgrades. So it just looks like that max momentum is going to be handicapped by the machinery that is under the man. And the man that is flourishing the most is Mr. Norris. So, guys, I will have to hop off stream.
No worries, Augusta. Take care.
Big up. Thank you so much. And I will see you guys on...
One quick prediction before you go.
Just going to do that, yes. You read my mind. I will say Lando Norris to win. Wait, what are the conditions? Is it really rainy?
No,
is it wet?
I think it's clear. I think it's clear.
Is it
for the sprint races? I think.
Yeah, this is important. This will define my prediction. So, is it very wet? Is it inter? Is it?
How about give 2 predictions?
Okay, if it's clear, I'll go with Lando. I'll go Lando win both ways.
Yeah.
And if it's wet, I will say Max second. And if it's not wet, Lando. Oh, who's 4th? Is it George?
Give me second.
I'll go Lando, George, Oscar, Max. Actually, no. Sorry, Max is always going to be in the podium. So,
I don't think so. I don't think he will get the sprint podium because sprint is very short. It's not like he's got time to do something.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, Tifosi actually mentioned it a couple weeks back. So big up to both of you. But that is a legend for noticing. That is a boss move. But sorry, you don't think Max will get on the podium? Yeah, I think he will, just because overtakes in abundance and race pace, they'll switch up the setup. So I'm not gonna give you a podium. I'll just say Lando wins either way, and if it rains, Max on the podium. And I don't think Oscar will finish second. So
yeah, Max needs to get past Alonso quickly, because if he doesn't, Alonso's one of the worst to get past.
Yeah, he defends his lead very, very well. That's the thing. He knows how to defend his lead. But listen, it's gonna be interesting. But take care, Garcia. Have a good day, bro. And
thank you, man.
See you,
too. I will see you very soon. Yeah. So I'll just reiterate really quickly. Lando wins, and if it's dry, then I agree with you, King, because I did not know that Alonso was ahead of Max. Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, if it rains, Max will storm. If it doesn't rain, Lando will have a gap between both Oscar and Max. Cool. In a bit, guys.
Take care.
Take care.
Take care. But King.
Yes.
Let's continue, bro. Obviously, Augustia mentioned about the track temperature, the track, obviously the conditions and whatnot.
Yeah.
How will obviously drivers are different in terms of different conditions. You know what I'm trying to say? Lewis Hamilton in the wet tires, and in intermediates, he can actually he can perform. But when it comes to the different circumstances, when it comes to the weather, obviously clear weather, he's not been impressive for Ferrari as of late, isn't he? But he finished, he finished P11 in qualifying for the sprints, and that's something that he's hardly really done. He's not really finished outside of Q3 for quite some time, hasn't he? And yeah, it's gonna be weird not seeing Lewis Hamilton in the top 5 of this. I can't lie to you, it'll be weird. But listen, Sao Paulo is one of those races, man. It's one of those races. Last year we had 2. Was it Alpine or was it Haas? Alpine? Who was it? I don't remember what it was. Was it Alpine? Wasn't it that finished that had double podium last year? Alpine.
Yeah, double podium, second and third. Yeah.
That's mental. So this is what I'm trying to say. Like, we just never know what could happen. Like, out of the blue, something crazy could happen. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, there is a big risk of heavy wet weather in both the sprint and qualifying. It depends on how much the weather affects the sprint as well, because obviously that will also affect the start. Will it be a rolling start? Will it be a regular start? The FIA have been very over the top when it comes to rain. Like they don't like really having normal starts when it rains. They put out red flags like nothing. They put out red flags like nothing. They stop races for no reason as well. So will they allow them to drive in the wet condition? I don't know. If they allow them to drive, then a sprint race in rain could be very interesting, because it will mean the cars will interact differently with the track, with the conditions, with the wet tires as well. It'll be longer for them to get, what's it called? Heat up. And also, having a rookie as well in P2 in Kimi could affect it as well, because obviously this is going to be the first time of him in Brazil in the F1 car in a wet condition. So what could that do to the race start as well? He could end up crashing into maybe Lando or someone else, and that could change or affect the results of the sprint and of the weekend. So
yeah,
depending on what happens, if the weather's dry, I think Lando wins the sprint race very easily. If it's wet, then you never know what can happen, especially with safety cars, especially with crashes, especially with the how delicate these cars are. Any little different change of even track temperature can affect the cars. So it's going to be a fun weekend. I would say, especially because Brazil will rain. And yeah, as Mohammed Mustafa said, Brazil always delivers.
That's also that one mandatory pit stop in the sprint race. That would be awesome. Talking about mandatory pit stops, I saw some news on Instagram. I don't know if it's true, but next year Formula One are considering bringing in 2 mandatory pit stops. Everyone has to pit twice next season. I'm hearing something about that. I'm not so sure how concrete it is. I'm not sure how true
I don't think that would work. I don't think there's there's races where 2 pit stops would just would make it too long.
Would be detrimental. I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Like there's certain races where you have to do mandatory 2 pit stops, like a Monaco or like a street race. Street races definitely. Yeah. I think for street races it would make sense. For street races definitely, but not for regular track races. I think regular track races you should be able to just. But also the problem is that because of Pirelli, the tires they make, the tires are too durable as well. So it gives you the option of just doing 1 stops. If anything, they need to make the tires less durable and make it more interesting. But they don't want to do that because it looks bad on their brand if the tires pop or if things that have happened in previous races, like for example Baku a couple years ago, where the tires popped for Max and stuff. They don't want that to happen, so they overcompensate by making the tires being able to go for 40-50
really
laps
hot
on
that. Track. You know what I'm trying to say? It's really hot on track, so that's why the tires can just burst easily.
Yeah, and so they don't want that to happen.
If you don't manage it well, then you could be in trouble. So that's what I'm trying to say. The soft tires, the medium tires, and the hard tires, they're the ones that Actually, I like intermediate as well, because intermediate can have a play. Obviously, when it's wet. You know what I'm trying to say? When the tracks are wet, it depends.
Yeah, they rarely use wet because they never allow them to drive in the wet conditions.
Yeah, exactly.
But also, I would say when it comes to tires, obviously they change it by race. But also, yeah, as I said, because Pirelli, because of their brand and because they don't want to. In order, the only issue is because they only have 1 type of tire. Like in previous years, they used to be able to choose between 2, maybe even 3 types of tires. But because it's only 1 type of tire, and Pirelli's the only one, because they don't want their brand to look bad, they overcompensate with their tires and make them too durable. So it allows for 1 pit stop races, which is boring, to be honest. If anything, I'd rather have less durable tires and be able to or go for the softer options on the weekend, so that there's 2 stops, maybe even 3 stops, because those races are more interesting, because then pit stops have a factor. The races are maybe longer, quicker, dependent, but yeah,
from what I watched, the soft tires are not as used as much as the medium and the hard tires.
Yeah.
It needs to be. I think soft tires should be used a lot more in certain races. I think we should try to make soft tires more competitive as well. You know what I'm trying to say? They should try to make soft tires more competitive in a way next season. So hopefully, they make some upgrades to that. But in terms of like what you said, in terms of obviously the track, and obviously what else you say? You mentioned about the was it Lando? You mentioned about Lando's pace, right? As well. I think Lando obviously I think he's made several upgrades to his car. What he cannot afford to do now is make a massive upgrade and go underweight, overweight. He needs to be careful about the weight of his car, because that could really play a factor into where he starts on the grid in the coming weeks. In the coming weeks, we've only got 3 races left after this. Vegas, was it Abu Dhabi, and Qatar. Next 3 races are that. So, bro, these next 3 races are crucial to Lando Norris's championship aspirations. If you don't finish in the right position, it could be a long day for him. It could be a long day for him. Like I said, it really matters now. It doesn't matter at the start, but now is where it matters for him. It matters for him now, more than it has ever in his career. These next 3 races are the biggest races of his career. If he doesn't overcome these next 3 races, I don't see him ever winning a championship again for a while. At least for a little bit. I don't see him competing with McLaren next year, because McLaren are gonna have to be behind Aston Martin, Mercedes. I think Mercedes and Aston Martin are gonna be the 2 fastest cars next year. So yeah, man. If he doesn't win the championship this year, it's gonna be long for him next season. he's going to be behind two really fast cars, maybe even a Ferrari if they make really good upgrades this off season. So we shall see. But like I said, I never doubted Lando Norris's ability to win a race. But like I said, mentally is where he has to challenge himself, and now is where he has to challenge himself mentally. This race here is really crucial to his points. If he wins this race, the sprint race, that adds another extra 8 points. He gains 4 more on Oscar. 3 or 4 more points on Oscar. That could be massive. It could be massive for him in the race going forward in the title race. Obviously, Max Verstappen is still there to pounce when mistakes happen, and we shall see where Max Verstappen finishes. But if Max Verstappen was to win today's race, or not win today's race, but finish right behind Lando, where's Max's best sort of chance? What's his best chance today of finishing right behind Lando, or finishing in the podium today? What's his best chance? Do you think he has a chance to finish in the podium? Do you think he can? Because if he doesn't finish in the podium, it might be over for him in terms of championship. It might be over for him.
Oh, for the sprint?
No, just the race and just the points in general. Like,
he needs a wet weekend. He needs rain.
But what about today? Like, do you see what's his best chance of getting podium?
Yeah,
today?
he needs rain. He needs it to be a wet weekend. He needs the sprint to have rain. He needs the main race to have rain. He needs it to be a rain weekend. It needs to be one of those weekends where, like one of those races where it's in between intermediates to dry tires. So where you have to decide, what time do we go into dries, what time do we go into intermediates, and be on the right side of those decision makings, and have his team make the right decisions at the right time during the main race, because there'll be pit stops, and obviously during the sprint race he has to hope that Lando makes mistakes because of the adverse conditions. If it's dry, he's got no chance.
Yeah,
just because his car's not good enough. But if it's mixed conditions, then it's more likely you'll see you'll see, because Lando is prone to making mistakes, especially when it's a wet race.
Because now Lando's made upgrades to his car. He's now in the right sort of frame. He's in the right frame of the race, because he needs to, like I said, he needs to clutch up in these next 2 or 3 races. He definitely needs to clutch up. If he can clutch up in this race and clutch up in tomorrow's race and the race on Sunday, it could be where he really sets his sights on the championship. Because then Oscar Piastri is losing momentum as well. He's losing momentum. His car is not the same. He's not the same driver as he was at the start of the year. Yes, you can maybe say McLaren had a factor in that. Yes, you can maybe say McLaren had to play. Sorry, how do you say it? McLaren could be a factor. The engineers could be a factor in terms of why Oscar Piastri isn't winning races. But you have to question him as well. He's a young driver. This is his first championship race. Mentally, was he in it? Yes. Did he blow it? I'm sorry to say, but he did. I'm sorry to say, but he blew it. He had the chance to win. He was up 40 points on Lando. He was up by a lot of points on Max. Max is closing in on Oscar, isn't he? Oscar, sorry, was it Oscar? I mentioned Oscar Piastri, didn't I? Oscar Piastri. He's closing in on Oscar Piastri now. If Oscar Piastri does not have a good race this weekend, I can see Max finishing second, right behind him, right in front of him, and he falls to P3.
What, in the sprint or in the race?
Sorry, in the championship, in the championship points.
No, it wouldn't be that. Not after this weekend. It would have multiple weekends of Oscar performing below Verstappen for him to catch him.
Do you think Verstappen can still win the championship, or is it over for him now?
No, he can still win it. He can definitely still win it, but he needs both Oscar and Lando to make mistakes.
And for the F1 content purposes, and for the viewership of everyone, Yeah, we need that. We all need that. You know what I'm trying to say? We all need that.
But as I said, for this weekend in particular, it has because of the way his car's positioned. And if put it this way, his car is worse than the Aston Martins and the Mercedes and the McLarens.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, because if there was a better driver than Lance Stroll in that Aston Martin, he would probably be what P7 in terms because he's slower than both the Aston Martin. His car is slower than the Aston Martin, the McLaren, and the Mercedes car.
Max Verstappen?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. As of right now, the standings were what was it? Oscar P1, Kimi P2, Lando was it Oscar P3? Oscar P3?
Yep. Yeah, George P4.
P4, Alonso 5, Russell 8, Verstappen 6.
Yeah, and Lance Stroll 7. As I said, if there was a better driver than Lance Stroll in the Aston Martin, Max would be P7. So with that fact that he's in the fourth quickest car, he needs for there to be rain for him to have a chance of getting a podium.
I hope so, Bossa Blue. I hope so, bro. I really hope so.
Yeah, in order for that Abu Dhabi madness to happen, he needs a bit of luck.
He needs to qualify on pole for the race tomorrow. If the same qualifying does go through, if saying it does happen.
I don't think he can. I don't think he has the car this weekend. That's the problem. So he's probably better off qualifying being cancelled and them doing what they're gonna say they're gonna do and do it by the championship. So he's at least third.
I see an easy P4, but if something spices the sprint, then the possible podium. I don't know about that. I don't say easy P4 because like King and Augustia mentioned earlier, with Fernando Alonso being ahead of him, his defense on Max Verstappen will be crucial to where he finishes. It depends
on Russell as well. Russell's ahead of him as well.
Exactly.
And Russell's not going to let him.
He struggled against Russell in the last few races as well. Like Verstappen has struggled to overtake Russell in the last few races, and obviously Russell almost overtook Verstappen.
Yeah.
I think in the what was it? One of the sprint races, wasn't it? He almost overtook Verstappen in one of the sprint races. I can't remember what it was. Was it last? Oh, was it Miami? That sprint race.
I think so.
Yep.
I think so.
Yeah, it was Miami. Yes. Verstappen almost got overtaken by George Russell in Miami in the sprint. So listen, like I said, it'll be crucial to see who can defend Max Verstappen. If Max Verstappen has a clear path ahead, I think he can overtake them for sure. He has the pace. He has the mentality to do it. But it depends on, like I said, his car. Can he go the long distance with his tires and with the conditions? I'm not so sure. It just really depends on what happens. It depends on the weather. It depends on the conditions overall on the weekend. But anyone add more before we go into predictions, Arian?
No, there's nothing really much to say. Because obviously it's not the main race; it's the sprint.
Yeah,
so
we'll have more tomorrow, people. So same time, back tomorrow for the race preview. So tune into that, people. Ferrari got no pace. I think they're just preparing for next season now, bro. What's happening with the Alpines? Same old. Maybe the Alpines.
No, they're the worst car on the grid. If anything, congrats to Colapinto. He I don't know how he got another year. Got another year in that car. Probably didn't find anyone to replace him.
That's actually a good point. I didn't think of a DRS. Yeah, but next season they're not using DRS, so this is where next season is. They're not using DRS next season. It's gonna be MOM, isn't it?
Yeah. Next season's gonna be more about the car, so that's why Aston Martin could be up there because it's about how they build the cars and how quick they make them and stuff like that. So
it'll definitely be more dramatic without DRS for sure. DRS helps you get past cars easily. It depends on the overall car itself.
I think DRS is rubbish because it creates DRS trains and that just allows for boring races.
And you can't even activate it to like a few turns later as well. So what's the point of it really?
Yeah, and if you don't have enough overspeed or enough time, you're never going to pass the car ahead of you. Rather than if the new system, you'll be able to use it in multiple races.
Yeah, 100%, bro, 100%.
Multiple spots within a race.
Fair enough. All right. But anyways, predictions. Let's get to predictions. I'm gonna go Lando number 1. And number 1. I don't know who's to be number 2. I probably agree with Gusty actually. I'm gonna go George Russell P2. Then I think Fernando Alonso P3. I think Kimi will drop into P4, P5. I think Verstappen will come P4. Outside of Verstappen. What are your thoughts?
If it's dry, I think the first 3 stays the same. I think it goes Lando, Kimi, Oscar. If it's a dry race. If it's a wet race and they allowed for it to start, I see Kimi taking out Lando. And I think it'll be Max, Oscar, George. If it's a wet race.
So you think Lando will drop into the?
No, it'll get taken out by Kimi if it's a wet start.
Next season, if you got front wing damage, then you're cooked. Exactly.
Yeah.
It depends on your front wing and your rear wing as well.
But I think it'll be dry, so I think it'll be Lando. Realistically, it's just going to be Lando, Kimi, Oscar, or Lando, Oscar, Kimi.
What engines is the next year? Is V10 or V6 engines?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Tifosi in the chat. You could probably tell me what engine is in next year. But regardless, I did forget to give a prediction for the wet race. I think Lando still wins the race, but the top 3 will change. I think Verstappen comes second, and I think George Russell finished 3rd. I think if it's wet race. If it's dry, probably will be Norris. I'm gonna go George Russell number 2. And you know what? Verstappen number 3. Why not? Actually, I'll go Verstappen number 3. Why not? And outsider Alonso. Yeah.
If in a dry race, outside of Verstappen, in a wet race, outside of Alonso.
Fair enough. V6. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, V6. Yes, I remember now.
Wait, is Mohammed Mustafa Tifosi?
Yeah, Tifosi. It's just his real name. It's just I don't know why they changed it, but YouTube now StreamYard they changed it to like the official instead of the username you use. That's what they're doing now.
Was it YouTube or StreamYard?
StreamYard. Oh, but actually no, both, because I think StreamYard is connected to YouTube anyway. So
yeah. So it's YouTube doing it. Oh, okay. So it's Tifosi. I big up Tifosi. I didn't even know.
Nah, it's Tifosi.
Jeez, hey, you got a powerful name as well. Respect your name. Mohammed Mustafa. That's a powerful name.
But anyways, King, you are going live later on your channel?
Yeah, around 11:55. Women's Super League, and then later for Premier League as well.
Are you going live for Tottenham Man United as well?
No, I'll probably jump in at with Rasta's one at the end, because the game starts a bit later than the Super League games. So I'll jump at the end to either celebrate with him that he beat Tottenham, because fuck Tottenham, or
hopefully we beat Tottenham. Hopefully we beat Tottenham.
Or if he's losing, just to laugh. And also to shame Bossa Blue. Shame, Bossa Blue. Shame if you lose.
You hate watching Altham? Sorry, I can't fucking read today. I don't know what's going on. I'm hate watching today off topic. Your blue clip feels extra rubbish. Nah, it's harsh. That's harsh.
They big up Tifosi every time.
It's Tifosi. Of course, legend in the chat as always. But guys, we are going to be back live later for the sprint race review tomorrow, and the race preview tomorrow. I'm going to be back with Rust again tomorrow, depending on when I decide to do a review of the United game. So maybe tomorrow or Monday. One of those days, I'll decide to do it. But either one of those 2 days, I'll be back. And tomorrow, back live for the F1. So tune into that. Monday with Premier League and F1. So we got 3 F1 shows this weekend and a Premier League review show. And then international break next week. So I've got the Beyond the Ball podcast with Josh. Me and him are back for that, so tune into that, people. And NBA shows. King was back with me on Monday for the NBA show and NFL show next week as well. So people tune in. It's gonna be an interesting week, even without football. Definitely gonna be interesting to see what we talk about and whatnot. But King, let them know where they can find you and let them know where you're coming up on your channel, bro. And then see you tomorrow.
Oh yeah, after King Academy. I'll be on my channel watching Women's Super League, Premier League football, and then tomorrow will be Premier League and NFL for the most part. Obviously, Man City Liverpool is the main event for tomorrow. The main event today is probably Tottenham United. That's the biggest game today. But I'll be on Rasta Stock's channel for that, and I'll also try and jump into Vigilante's channel because he's doing some rugby watch along. So if I can jump into his channel for a little piece as well, I'll jump onto his channel as well. So that's why I'll be watching football, rugby, women's football, F1, and NFL, and some NBA as well, as well.
100%. But guys, that's King's channel. Both of his channels are in the title of the video, so make sure you guys subscribe to both of his channels, and subscribe here as well. You'll see more of King. You'll see more of Augustia and Rasta Stocks and everyone here. And Sports is literally 9 subs away from 500 subscribers, guys. 500 subscribers was the goal when I first set this channel up. I said 500 subscribers is the first goal, the main goal, the first main goal that we're going to get through, and so on and so forth, onwards and upwards from there. So guys, hit the like button, subscribe. Let's get to 500, guys. We're very, very close. So big up everyone, and big up to Fosi as well in the chat. As always, he's a legend. He'll be back on the F1 shows very soon, people. So big up to Fosi and big up everyone who's locked in. Hit the like button, subscribe, and we are out. Forza